Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Historical Humans YouTube channel. And today on Historical Humans Reacts, we're going to actually dive into something just a little bit different. We decided to look on Reddit on r/archaeology and react to some of the posts that are there because there's a couple of really interesting articles that we came across that we wanted to talk about. And as you see here, I actually have my screen entirely showing. And Colum and I here are just going to react and talk about them because I think it could be kind of interesting. And I think there's some pretty good information laying here in these articles.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff here with r/archaeology. It's a fun subreddit. It has a lot of very factual and other new information. So it's very fun to check out, and you will be seeing everything we see more or less as we see it, or at least as Justin sees it.
Yes.
Um, I have access to my own screen, so I may peek ahead at some points.
But I think to jump in, we should scroll right down to the top post of this week, which is the lost cities of the Amazon discovered from the air.
Yeah,
And as I alluded to a little bit earlier, I actually have the article pulled up here.
yeah. Uh, I'm just going to start here. Let's not even deal with what they're talking about right now just yet. I just want to start with that picture, that lovely picture
Ah.
here. All right, this is what we call lidar, which is a form of which is essentially a form of ground penetrating radar, and it's showing us what is essentially under the earth, under all the trees, foliage, everything like that. And this is a very beautiful picture. This is one of the cleanest I've ever actually seen.
Which,
And
to keep a pretty good keynote here is with this site being located in the Amazon, and LiDAR is not quite like GPR, it doesn't get interfered with as often. So, technology like this is actually able to cut through the really dense foliage and brush that is present in the Amazon. So, it's able to cut right through. And as you see on this beautiful, beautiful LiDAR image, you can easily make out shapes and canals and deeply rooted trenches.
yeah, oh yeah, I definitely you've got to love just how clean the asymmetry of it has come in from the radial trenches, the radial canals in the northeast, to the very thick, what look like almost irrigation trenches in this sort of flatland to the northwest. To even just you can just see the general raised platform of what seemed to be like just suburban uh, inhabited areas just between the various mound and pyramid structures. It's very fun. As striking as that like main pyramid is in the center, there's so much other fun stuff you can see around the periphery that just gets us excited as archaeologists.
And what's especially interesting about the Amazon and archaeology in general is when the Spanish colonials first landed in South America and in the New World, stories quickly emerged of the lost city of gold, El Dorado. So ever since then, there has been this fetishization and this dream of finding this lost city of gold that has driven a lot of researchers to begin searching for it. And this is just one little piece to that puzzle, as it's another ancient city that was uncovered deep buried within the Amazon. And this is a part of the Kasarabe culture, which existed from 500 to 1400 CE, which is Common
Yeah,
Era,
yeah.
which means this is a pretty long lasting and long standing civilization in this region.
And one of the things that caught my eye here, because we are talking about the Amazon, and looking at this article now, is this is not the Amazon we traditionally think of Brazil when we say Amazon. Where we are with this site that we're looking at is the Bolivian Amazon. So it is the jungle sort of creeping into this neighboring country. So I believe don't have a map in front of me, and I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind trying to remember where Bolivia is.
It's
Uh,
just above Argentina and slightly below Brazil. It's kind of pancaked
yeah,
between the
it's a
two.
little bit in that like little corner. It's a little corner pocket along the Andes, right?
Yeah, and this is also kind of huge. Well, it's not kind of huge, it is huge because it shows that even in a very densely forested area or jungled area like the Amazon, it was able to sustain such a large population center. Like, the size of this city was what, 1.2 square miles?
There was, yeah, there was, yeah, there was something in the article as we were like, skimming through it to understand what the hell we were about to talk about.
The sites were scattered across 1,700 square miles.
Yeah,
So this is a really, really large area.
yeah.
And you can actually see on my screen here an image of the site without LiDAR. So this is what it looks like as an aerial image. And then if we actually cut right back up top, you can see how these shapes actually stand out from there. So it's really cool technology, and it's really interesting the practical applications of this. And it can actually be used by scientists to discover anomalies in the soil. It can discover man-made or culturally modified structures.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we are looking at is I found it. So they surveyed, according to the article, they surveyed what turned out to be 26 sites across 6 regions. And the images we're seeing are what has been dubbed Landavar. And it is a 1.2 square mile urban center, which is absolutely massive. This is a major population center. In theory and in practice, in a lot of cultures around the world, getting an urban center of a mile or more means you are easily supporting uh, upper 5 to mid 6 digits worth of people. So, tens to hundreds of thousands of people living in one spot is what that means usually.
And this is
So,
evident too within the city itself. I mean, you've got a ton of artificial terraces, you've got earthen platform buildings, you've even got conical pyramids that are over 70 feet tall.
yeah.
So I mean, it's a huge site. It's a huge city.
Yeah, what gets me is the landscape of all is the whole suburban neighborhood style of building that they seem to have going on, and they talk about is just that's not really a concept uh we see it too much of, especially with Western culture and history. Neighborhooding doesn't really come about until well into the Industrial Revolution. This idea that, hey, we can have the population spread out and then move in every day to work and come back out to sleep. And there seems to be a major canal system connecting just small pockets of different people around this central core. That seemed that was very fun. I gotta say, I do love the LiDAR work on all of this.
Wow. And they're even suggesting that with the combination of all the villages, it could support up to 1 million people between 1250 and 1500 CE.
Yeah, that is
Wow.
huge. Yeah, because you see a lot of these cities mile in size, maybe 400,000 people, which is massive to begin with,
Yeah.
uh, for for a place that really hasn't invented a lot of the modern technology to allow stacking people vertically tons and tons and tons of times. Like modern steel is not here.
But, going on that article with the really interesting LiDAR,
Yeah,
I think we should shift over to the Mayan article because
yeah.
that was also a really, really neat
Yes.
one.
Another, yeah. So yeah, this is this first article does mention that this is uh you know near Maya territory. These settlements. Excuse me. I
I
am
like how the
choking
second
myself.
article, the first thing that they talk about is how tooth gems are making a comeback in 2022, but they didn't start with black hip hop rappers. Nope,
No.
they actually originated in ancient Maya civilizations, which they would drill out parts of their teeth and fill them with precious gems and sealants, and you would think that it would decay or would break down over time, but they've actually seen in a lot of graves that this is held up over time.
Hmm. Yep. Oh yeah, this is a fun little trick here. They're just focusing in on the little thumbnail. I don't know if we still have it or if it's, yeah, it's no longer there for you, but the thumbnail, just lovely, beautiful little picture of just uh an actual set of teeth with the gems drilled into them. It's quite something to look at, actually.
I reloaded
Yeah,
it
there
so
we
now
go.
they can see. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
there we go. Yeah,
another
look at
YouTube
that.
video,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
called "What Beauty Was Like in the Maya Civilization." So yeah, they had the gems actually
Good.
inserted in their
Good
teeth.
picture.
They
Yep.
would file down their teeth to make them even and do a lot of aesthetic changes. The Maya, if you couldn't already previously tell, they were really big on body modifications. They would actually do large piercings in their ears. They would gauge them. They would actually shape their heads with
Yeah.
special bindings and wraps to make them more look like corn cobs.
Yep. Here's the thing though with what we got in this article here is one of my favorite parts is this was actually this wasn't just ceremonial and decorative and things like that. This was actually had a medical purpose with just they use pine resin, which prevents as the mortar to stick these things in their teeth, which prevents tooth decay. So they're literally promoting dental health by drilling holes in their teeth and filling them with precious rocks.
It's really interesting, and you wouldn't think. Well, I think a lot of people wouldn't imagine what dental practices would look like hundreds, if not hundreds and
Mhm.
hundreds, if not 1,000 years ago, what those practices look like. And now to see that they did this and that there was actually a practical purpose, it just
Mhm.
blows me away and shows that maybe they knew a little bit more than people give them credit for.
Well, it is. This is the indigenous Americas. So I think a lot of people don't give them credit at all, and that's just completely unfair. Especially when you see them pulling off such, evidently simple and actually brilliant techniques as this.
Yeah.
We're going to give you permanent shiny teeth forever by drilling holes in them. We're going to fill you with we're going to take sap from trees and jewelry and just jam them in your mouth.
My shiny teeth and
That's going to keep your teeth okay for the next 1,000 years apparently.
but I think that is actually a pretty good point for us to leave off on. If you guys enjoyed this series and you enjoyed seeing us react to this, be sure to drop a like down below and subscribe. And if there's something you want us to cover or a different subreddit you want us to react to, just let us know in the comments below. And any final closing remarks you would like to add, Colum?
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to be genuinely fuming about just the constant allusions at the very beginning of all this with the first article to El Dorado and the lost city of Z. They don't exist. Please stop. I know you have to promote the article, people who write these, but dear God. Not every mummy is the tomb of Alexander the Great. Not every city in the Amazon is El Dorado. Please.
We
Please,
could
no.
go into a lot of pseudosciences, but that will be it for this week. We will have another episode for you next week, I believe. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you all in the next video.